Yay! Finally something to talk about! Hey everyone, my name is Melody. Thank you for clicking on this video. Coming back at you for the first time in 35 days. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely hate the month of August. Like, absolutely, like, the worst month. 12 out of 12, hate it. It's too hot, it's too long, it's the one thing standing in between me and the Buffalo Bills season. And, like, nothing ever happens in the hockey world. Nobody makes any moves, no one does anything fun. It's just boring. So look at that. The calendar flips, it's September now, and suddenly the Sabres give me something to talk about. And no, I was not going to spend any time talking about Jack Eichel and his stupid emojis. But today the Sabres announced that they signed forward Casey Mittelstadt to a 3-year contract with a cap hit of $2.5 million a year. And I like it. Fine by me. That works. If you followed along with my channel over the years, I haven't always been a huge Casey Mittelstadt fan. Coming out of the draft, there were a lot of question marks about his desire and his physical fitness. If you'll remember, he was famous for struggling to do a single pull-up at the combine and had a pretty funny picture come out of it. Casey Mittelstadt's such an interesting prospect because he's always kind of like dominated his own age level. Like, you know, in high school he dominated in his draft year and then he moved on. And in the World Junior tournament that was in Buffalo, he was the World Junior MVP that year. It was amazing to watch him. But then it seemed like, you know, when you put him into NHL action or action against like men, that's kind of where he struggled. And this year too, I was pretty disappointed because to start the year, he was assigned to the taxi squad. He couldn't make the team, you know, right out of the gate. It's like, I mean, it's been 4 years past his draft year. He was the 8th overall pick in 2017. And 4 years later, he can't even make the Sabres. And when you look at their forward group, it's not like there was anything like super impressive on that list. And it was disappointing that he wasn't able to like kind of break through. And so you're kind of starting to wonder, like, did we draft another bust? Considering we had Alex Nylander the year before, and then, you know, is Casey Mittelstadt not going to turn in anything? But give him credit, he worked his way into the lineup. And then when Ralph Kruger got fired, he, along with basically everyone else on the team, took major steps forward. But it was really nice to see what Casey Mittelstadt was able to do. He spent a lot of time on a line with Tage Thompson and Rasmus Asplund, and that line looked pretty solid. It was nice to see, like, it looked like he was playing more free and more confident. Like, it didn't look like anything was really holding him back. He was just kind of, like, doing what he does. So in 22 games under Don Granato, he had 9 goals and 8 assists for 17 points, which, I mean, you'll take that. So I think if he continues to improve his game and he continues to, you know, really do well under Don Granato and his more offensive system, then I think, you know, maybe in a few years that 2.5 is going to be a really nice number for us. It's not even bad right now either. Like, I'm totally fine with 2.5 there. You know, relatively speaking, it's a pretty cheap deal. It's a bridge deal. And it looks like he'd still be an RFA after the deal's over anyway. So, I mean, that's good. So if for some reason he doesn't pan out, he doesn't get any better, like, 2.5 is really nothing. I will say, like, during the season, like, during those last 20 games with Granato, like, watching that line of Asplund, Mittelstadt, and Thompson, like, I was watching that thinking long-term about what it could look like, and I was like, oh my god, that is like a perfect third line for us. Thinking long term, like if you had Jack as your number 1, Dylan Cousins as your number 2, and then that third line is still producing points, because that's always been the biggest problem with the Sabres, is they couldn't really find offense outside of like Jack. So to see production from that line was like really encouraging. It's like, okay, you know, get everybody back, get everybody healthy, and that's like a really decent third line. Like, who knows, maybe we could be onto something. And then, I mean, you all know what happened. So I mean, it's tough, like, because you know going into this next year we're going to be bad again. And as encouraging as it was seeing Casey and some of the younger guys produce and take steps forward, you know, you do wonder, is that sustainable over an 82-game season, especially when, like, I mean, there's really not a ton of veteran leadership on the team. There's really not, like, they're going to be relied upon heavily this season, I think. And I think there is a bit of a concern, you know, putting so much on these younger guys. Like, you saw how well it worked out with Jack, Sam. Like, it just didn't work. So that's kind of a little bit concerning. But, I mean, if they're having a good off-season, if they come in super ready to go, I don't know. So another interesting note here, according to Cap Friendly, the Sabres now have a projected cap hit of $55 million, which is still $4.8 million below the floor. It's just so funny seeing all these teams, like, having cap trouble, and there's the Sabres who, like, need to spend more money. I mean, they will. Like, they still have to sign Rasmus Dahlin and Henry Jokiharju, and that'll get them there. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Dahlin, if they decide to just do a bridge like they did with Casey, or if they decide to just lock him up long term and take that risk. I'm assuming that'll happen within, you know, soon. And I've been thinking a lot about Kevin Adams as a general manager, and still it is very hard to kind of figure out where he's at. Like, obviously this whole Jack Eichel saga is interesting. And some moves he's made some good moves, he's made some moves. I'd consider this a pretty solid, good, low-risk move, though, so I will say I have been, you know, gaining a little bit more confidence in Kevin Adams as a general manager. Still so hard to tell because he hasn't done anything drastic, right? But obviously he's trying to rebuild this team. I don't think it's any secret that we're going to be bad again. So we're likely going to be adding another top pick this year, probably next year too. So we'll see. But I mean, I guess it's nice to see that the Sabres are still making moves and not just taking the summer off. We're kind of finally starting to come up on it. It's been a long summer, but like the Bills start in a week and a half. I'm so ready for that. The Sabres preseason starts the 28th. So I mean, we're getting down to it. I'm excited about it. So yeah, as always, thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this move, what you think, how you think Casey Mittelstadt will do this season, if you think he's due for kind of that step forward, or if you think he's just kind of gonna stay as what he is. I don't know. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love it if you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It is a huge help to me. And I will see you soon. Go Bills. Bye, guys.